There are 4 tips you guys can use right now to improve at pub stomping going into Black Ops 7. You can get practicing right now. Starting off with number 1, it's going to be isolating the gunfights. You want to be taking more 1v1 gunfights or even 2v1 with your teammates, but don't go into areas where you're vulnerable to multiple people. Whenever I'm kind of watching people play pubs and they're struggling, the biggest thing they're doing is going out in the open and they're fighting multiple people at once. You have to think about it from the enemy's perspective. If you're shooting, let's say you're shooting one person and someone else comes around the corner and they're looking at you, they have a free kill now. It doesn't matter how good you are mechanically, it doesn't matter how good you're shooting, they are going to kill you because you're not looking at them. So you want to make sure that when you're playing, you're trying your best to get 1v1 gunfights, because you're more than likely going to win your 1v1 gunfights individually. It's just when you're playing multiple people, that's when it gets kind of messy. Same for Warzone. If you see the Warzone pros kind of win solo squads, they're never fighting 4 people at once. They're always fighting one person at a time, isolating each gunfight. So instead of having, you know, a 1v4, they're having 1v1 multiple times, and that can really help you in terms of improving in pub stomping and going on those streaks. Number 2 is going to be not getting greedy. Similar to number 1, it's about kind of making sure we're using our pacing and we're kind of separating opponents. Okay, don't get greedy when you're pushing up to spots that are power positions and you're near their spawn. Just kind of chill around there, get a few kills and let them come towards you a little bit. You can still spawn trap people, but once you get into their spawn, a little danger area, you kind of want to go in and out. You don't want to just stay in their base. You don't want to fight 6 people spawning at once, because you may get a couple of kills, you may get a 3-piece or even a 4-piece if you're really shooting well, but the problem is after that you're always going to get outnumbered. There's no spawn delay as well, so once you get the 3-piece and reload, they're going to be there. So let's say Nuketown, for example, you want to be spawn trapping them from the houses. You don't want to necessarily go into corners in the spawn, because after the first few kills, when they know you're there, you're just going to get overran. So it may work for a couple of kills, even 5-6 at the most, but you're always going to die there. So you always want to play for the 2 or the 3 pieces instead of going for the 5 or the 6 pieces. It just makes the game a little bit more consistent if you're trying to go on those high score streaks. And then tip number 3 is going to be playing around the edges of the map. This is very important. Whenever I'm playing, I always try to isolate corners, try to play around the edges of the map, because what I don't want to do is, if I'm standing dead center in the middle, what happens is you're open to so many angles. And if you're let's use Nuketown again for example, right? If I'm holding the far right or the far left, it's a lot easier because there's no one going to pinch me. If I'm standing on the very middle of the map, right, and I'm watching one side of the house, if my teammate on the left or the right dies, what then happens is I'm going to get pinched. So you're just open to more flanks when you play like that, and you're always going to die like that. So that's going to be tip number 3. Tip number 4 is going to be to use a silencer and a ghost. Make sure you are staying off the minimap. For me, this is one of the most important things. If you are trying to pub stomp, trying to spawn trap, trying to be aggressive, you want to make sure that when you get a kill, you can reposition without them looking at the minimap and them killing you. So that's going to be 4 tips to improve.